welcome. We're here back again on our. There's never any lights in here, so. Let's see.
Over there.
Turn the lights on, baby. Turn the lights on. Who sings that? Beautiful. Okay, so we're here, as promised, the next episode. We'll get this up as soon as we can, but it's on an RODI. So basically, an RODI stands for reverse osmosis deionization. And if you really want to take the hobby to the next level, you absolutely need one of these, because what we discovered with the tap water is that there was ammonia in the water, and among other things, we didn't have a TDS meter, which stands for total dissolved solids. We didn't have one of those to determine exactly what the total dissolved solids, but just the ammonia alone was enough to have an ick outbreak, which killed a few fish, unfortunately. So we went ahead and bought this RODI filter, and you can get these from different suppliers. This particular one is made by Electrolux, and it's a really, really nice one. The key to this one is that it produces 75 gallons per day, which is there's two numbers you want to look for in an RODI unit, and that is the RODI production, which is 75 gallons per day, which is really slow. It's about 12 gallons an hour, but for an RODI, it's quite a bit. It's you're really getting a lot of production at 75 gallons, and also you want to look at the efficiency. So you will see a lot of tricky advertising that says 25% more efficient compared to what RODI is the question. So basically, when they say it's 75% efficient, that means that out of 1,000 gallons of water, 750 gallons are going to be usable, 250 gallons are going to go down the drain. Crap. So that basically tells you that it's removing the water. They call it gray water. That's the water with all the heavy metals, pesticides, anything that's included in the municipalities. There's chloramine,
heavy metals, mercury,
pesticides, ammonia. So this thing does it all. I mean, we've also tested this water. It removes the ammonia and does a real nice job. So as far as TDS's, total dissolved solids, it also has a meter that'll tell you where we're at, and this is the indication of the 3 stages of filters here, and these are the top 2 stages over there. And so as you can see, it's a really nice unit with a digital display. It's really easy to use. There's a water alarm inside of it in case there's a leak, which we've already experienced. Just some connections that weren't done correctly. There's a shut-off valve behind the garbage disposal. So it's a really nice unit. I mean, most of the ones we've seen are basically the tubular models with the gauge on it. Usually those are sufficient for a garage or a laundry room. But this one is attractive enough. Looks kind of like a server PC. You can even put this on the counter if you'd like. And so the only thing we didn't do here is, as you can see, this is how much RODI is being wasted. So it's quite a bit of waste. And this is a pretty efficient RODI unit. There's really not a whole lot you can do. You might want to try to save it.
Tap water.
It's going to have a lot of, if you can use it for irrigation somehow, but keep in mind it will probably kill whatever plants you give it to. So, but for a lawn, I guess if you diluted it enough, it would be fine. So we don't have it plumbed into the drain, so we just have it kind of hooked up with the clamp for now, and we'll show you the other side where it's coming in. Follow me over to the prep tank.
So prep.
And this is where we prep the water. So right now what we got is the RODI. It came with this faucet, which was really cool. We bought an extra 25 foot. Basically, this is a 1/4 inch freezer hose, so that we could bring the RODI over here, and then when we're not using it, we store it underneath the sink. So there it is. That's the production of it. And there's a shut-off valve right here, and we just kind of hang it on there. Now, the thing is, you have to watch it, because if you don't set a timer or something, this is actually filling up pretty quickly. This is a 30-gallon tank, so we estimate this to
3
fill up in
hours.
about 2.5 to 3 hours. But you have to keep an eye on it. You don't want to. There's no shut off here to say. There's no automatic shut off. In other words, to say that. I mean, I suppose we could rig something up, but for now we're just going to live life on the wild side and just pretend that we have a timer set up, which we do. We set up a timer and we check it, and so that's what we're doing. Then once we have the salt prep up, we also use these other containers to store the extra RODI for, like, say, evaporation and so forth. So if you're really serious about the hobby, particularly reef tanks, we got it for just the fish that we have.
Yeah, we have a fish in the system.
They're very sensitive fish, and going with really expensive fish, we really want to make sure the water is good. And especially since we had that ammonia level, I got to say it wasn't always in the water. It kind of comes and goes, but it's coming right out of the tap. And when we do a water change, it's for the fish's benefit to replace nutrients, and we definitely don't want to add ammonia to the system. It's sort of an overload, and the filtration takes a while before it can eat the ammonia and turn it into nitrates. So that's our RODI unit. If you have any questions about it, feel free to give us send us a little message. Be happy to answer any questions on the RODI unit, where you can get them, and so forth. And we'll even tell you where we purchased that one. So, so that's our unit on RODI. Check in next. We're going to do a issue or
Ick segment.
episode on
Ick.
two of our other subjects coming up. One is ick, and the other one is testing, water testing, and the type of tests, and the colors, the variations, and how you should take some precautions there. Always rinse the vials.
Different brands.
And the different brands.
API.
We're basically going to do it all in salt water, but we have two test kits to review. We're going to show you the color differences. One tends to be a little more sensitive than the other one. One of them is the most common one, which is the API. And then we're going to do an ick episode, and that, we don't want to spoil all that, but we're going to, since there's so many opinions on ick, we want to add our own opinion on ick, because we've been doing this a long time, and nothing seems to work as far as ick goes. Your best bets are, they
copper and crap.
We have copper, this is the copper, and this came from it. If you really want to do something, these are your methods of attack. We have ick attack, marginal results on this, but this is really the only thing that works. And the recommendation on this came from a person that has a doctorate in ecology, if there is such a thing, and there is. But that's not the term. And Millefus icto something or other. You can look it up as to what the scientific name of ick is. Ick is basically the white spot disease. It's a parasite. It kills fish. But this is the only thing that'll work. Now, copper, and we've tried this, and the fish did show some improvement. This, along with hyposalinity, which is lowering the salinity level.
And heat.
And the only thing is, you don't want to use this copper treatment, or copper, where there is live rock, where there is anemones, invertebrates. It will kill them. So if you have a reef tank, this is not the way to go. If you can catch the fish, which is my recommendation, as soon as you see ick, if you want to be proactive, it's either going to die or it's going to die in a quarantine tank. The best thing to do is put it in a quarantine tank, make sure there's plenty of aeration, put the heat up to about 81 degrees, lower the salinity, treat it with copper. So we're going to do a whole segment on that on our next episode, so don't miss that. So be sure to check in, subscribe, and until next time, happy fish keeping, and we're coming back to you again, Tony O's house at Dom's Tank.
Cut.